So
All right, sorry if you guys lost the stream. We're back. Sorry. Steven said I think it'll bring more at auction just because of the buzz.
yep.
Could be right.
Plus
Yes,
him again, him winning it Rookie of the Year right now.
he's not gonna
He's
win Rookie
high
of
up.
the Year.
No,
I still think Jackson Merrill's gonna win, dude.
no. I mean, I think Jackson Merrill should win, but I don't think he will.
I think being an everyday player and like the impact that Jackson Merrill made, I think the writers. The only thing that like makes me think that Jackson Merrill won't win and Skeens will is the name factor because
Yep.
Paul Skeens came in with the name and Livy Dunn and the hype and all that. But like we saw fucking Michael Harris win Rookie of the Year over Spencer Strider, and Spencer Strider had a way better year than Michael Harris that year. But
Yeah, but Strider didn't have the hoopla surrounding him.
kind of did. Not like
No,
not like
not like
Skeens.
Skeens.
Not like
Not like
Skeens,
Skeens.
but everyone was like, "Oh, Strider, dude, he's throwing fucking 99, fucking gas." I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I was just gonna check that Strider versus Skeens numbers. Let's go baseball reference.
Oh, had a way better rookie year than Strider, but Jackson Merrill also had a way better rookie year than Michael Harris did.
Michael Harris, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the closest comparison. I'm not saying that like either are comparable to the other. I'm just saying that like the reasoning they gave for Michael Harris winning Rookie of the Year over Spencer Strider was, oh, Michael Harris plays every day,
Mhm.
and it's like, yeah, Michael Harris had a good year, but Jackson Merrill's haven't had a way better year,
Oh, incredible year. Yep.
and
No,
he Gold Glove caliber center field.
no, no, I don't disagree with you. I think Merrill is the better player. Because he does play all around it and he's a two-way player and offensive and defensive. Um, and but Skeens has the hype behind him, and I mean, fuck, look at the MLB and what awards go out.
Yeah,
It's always around the hype.
yeah. I mean, fucking Soto
That's
being a finalist for a Gold Glove is comedy.
Yep,
Uh, Baseball, love it.
it's all around the hype.
Who
Yep.
AL Rookie of the Year is even more comical because it's like, who the fuck is gonna win that? Like, for a while it looked like it was gonna be Luis Heel, like hands down, but I mean he didn't really have a good
No, end
second
of the
half of the
season.
year. Like, next would probably be fucking Austin Wells, I would say.
Who are our candidates? Colton Cowser,
Austin Wells
Heel,
and Luis
Heel,
Heel.
and Wells. Yeah.
I think Austin Wells should win AL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I think if it was the first half of the season, it would probably be Cowser. If it's second half is Wells. Um, yeah, that's gonna be a tough race.
That one's yeah. That one you could make a case for like all of them. Like Cowser had a really good like he had two really good months in the season that
Mhm.
basically accumulated like all of his production. But I
Yeah,
thought Austin Wells was like really good down the stretch, and he was a big part of the Yankees getting as far as they did, especially when like Stanton went out. Austin Wells he had some big production. But anyways, uh, we'll talk about baseball later. Let's talk about NFL. Let's start with the Sunday
well, I gotta
night.
do my drink first.
Oh yeah. Let everyone know about this drink, Ben.
All right, so
Ben saw this shit and he's like, I gotta fucking try this.
yeah, I sent it to Jordan. I wanted him to get it too, but I know there's no chance in hell he's drinking fucking
Yeah, I can't do Fireball, dude. I'll,
Fireball.
if
I
you guys want
fucking
to
hate
see
it.
me
It's
throw up
disgusting.
on stream, then I will.
There we go. So I found this on fucking Instagram or TikTok something. I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty good. It's called the cinnabon uh cocktail or cinnamon bun cocktail. They say it tastes exactly like a Cinnabon. And what it is, it's a PBR and Fireball mixed together. That's all it is. Um, so I figured we gotta try this. We gotta see if this is actually a Cinnabon. So I've got my PBR, I got my Fireball, and
Let's do this up, man. Do this up. We gotta try
we're
this.
doing it. Fireball's disgusting.
Yeah, I can't even smell Fireball, or
Yeah,
else I'll throw up, dude.
Still smells cinnamony, so we'll see. There we go. No, it still tastes like a fucking liquid red hot. It doesn't taste like a cinnamon roll at all.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
That's exactly what I thought it would
Well,
taste like. Kind of gross.
fucking bottom us up. There we go.
Fucking Ben. That is hilarious. All right.
Oh God, that was gross.
Oh, I can only fucking
Ugh.
imagine. You're a trooper for doing it, though. I will say that.
God damn.
All right, so let's kick it off with the Sunday night game. That was a fucking
Hmm.
crazy game. The Chargers closed 1 point favorites. The total was 48. The
Oh, man.
score ended up being 34-27. The Chargers did lead this game 27-3 in the third quarter, and the Cincinnati Bengals came back to tie the game 27-27. They had two chances to win the game. Evan
Two opportunities.
McPherson missed two kicks. Joe Burrow 20-50 for 356 yards, three touchdowns. Um, Herbert 17-36 for 297 yards, two touchdowns. Herbert was really good in the first half, really bad in the second half.
Yep.
He went. I think they said he went seven straight incompletions, which was like
Mm-hmm.
a record for him.
Yep.
Just nasty, nasty stuff there. However, the Chargers get it done. They end up not blowing a fucking 24-point lead in the third quarter. End up walking away with the victory. Cincinnati really needed this game in terms of playoffs. Losing this game kind of hurts, but you know, I was halfway through the game. I was like thinking to myself, man, I'm gonna come on the show and I'm gonna talk about how fucking good the Chargers are and how that's a legit team
Yeah.
that can actually challenge for the AFC West. But man, dude, the way they almost choked that game, Ben, was bad, and they got to get Herbert some weapons, man, because they had a lot of drop passes.
Yep. You're 100% right. And this should have been a Bengals victory because of that second half. Those two missed field goals were absolutely atrocious. I don't think you can put any of this on Burrow. Um, you
Nah,
know,
he did everything he could.
yeah, he had a great game, 28 for 50, 356 yards, three touchdowns, no interceptions. Um, Offensively, I think this was a great game for Cincinnati, and they just failed it in special teams and defense. You can't let your team go down in a hole, by 20, what was it, 24 points?
Uh, yeah, they were down 24. Yep.
Yeah, 24 points, and that's not acceptable from your team. And and then you wonder if McPherson's going to have a job on Monday.
I mean,
Um,
he's one of the better kickers in the
I
league.
know, I know.
But yeah, he definitely cost them.
Yep, I shanked two kicks to the left, and cost them the game. So it's tough that Cincinnati lost this one. But the Chargers aren't. I mean, I think the Chargers are getting there. I think the Chargers are a year away. But you're absolutely right. They need to help. They need to help Herbert. That J.K. Dobbins almost that touchdown at the end almost ruined things for them. They almost lost them the game, or
Yeah,
at
you got to
least
slide.
gave them a chance to um, go to overtime there.
Or
Lad
they could have scored a touchdown and
gone
got a
for
two,
two.
yeah,
Yeah,
and win the game.
yeah. Lad McConkey dropped so many passes today. Um, I guess only three, but they were in critical time, and
They had a few like really bad drops.
Quentin
Forget
Johnson 2 for 8
Palmer.
today.
Palmer had a big drop.
Yep,
Uh, I mean, dude, it's just Disley had a drop. Like
yep,
they gotta get him some weapons, bro.
yep. Yeah, and J.K. Dobbins, 11 carries for 56 yards, but then you have Justin Herbert, 5 carries for 65. Like, you can't have your QB being your top rusher
Well,
unless in this case,
I'll
because
I'll say this about that because Irv and I actually had a really good discussion yesterday about QB play now, and we were talking about like how nowadays you really have to have a dual threat quarterback, dude. Like you cannot have a statue back there, bro. Like
I agree.
because it if your quarterback, if you have to account for your quarterback running, it makes a defense have to account for an extra offensive player every single possession.
Agree, but your QB shouldn't be your top rusher.
I mean, it depends because like a lot of it's like broken, but yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, your QB shouldn't be your top rusher, but it's also a blessing when he can be your top rusher. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that's what I think quarterback play is now. Like you have to have a mobile quarterback, dude. Like you cannot have. I think that's a like I know Purdy's like not like a total statue, but you know he's also not the most athletic dude back there. So
He scored a touchdown today,
yeah,
11
but
yards.
he's not like
No, I don't.
Herbert or
I, again, yeah, yeah, yeah.
some of these other, even Burrow's like pretty athletic for a guy that you wouldn't consider like a dual threat quarterback or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think the era of quarterback now, dude, is totally fucking changed, bro. Like Kirk Cousins of the world don't fucking work, dude.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
going
and
away.
it was great to see. I mean, we're talking about Joe Burrow. He had 2 rushes for 28 yards, and those two were definitely, at least the commentary gave a lot of insight onto that. And when you have two guys on Jamar Chase, you have a guy on T. Higgins, and they're both running on the outside routes, that leaves the middle of the field open
Yeah,
and gave Burrow a lot of room to really run through the middle there. And I mean, he averaged 14 yards per carry on each of those.
yeah,
So, that allowed him to open things up. I mean, Justin Herbert had that 30-yard run, which means he was 4 carries for 25 on the others.
yeah.
So,
They weren't huge.
yeah. Um, Still average 13 yards per rushing attempt though. So, it's I like Chase Brown. I didn't like Dobbins in the running back role today.
Yep.
Just like my opinion, man.
No, I agree. I feel you.
God, that shit was gross. I'm still fucking burping up Firewall.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We had Kansas City at Buffalo. This was the game of the week. Buffalo laid 2.5. The total was 47.5. The total went over. Buffalo won 30-21. Snapping Kansas City's unbeaten streak. They went almost a year without losing a fucking game.
Insane.
Pat Mahomes, 23 of 33, 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Josh Allen, 27 of 40, 262 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He also rushed the ball 12 times for 55 yards. He was the Bills' leading rusher,
Yep.
which Ben doesn't like. He had a huge rush to basically win the game and seal the game. But yeah, it was a great game, man. It was everything I thought it lived up to be. And I played Chiefs in a teaser, but I also played Bills straight up, so kind of came out with a wash there. But yeah, man, it was a hell of a fucking game, and the Bills are a legitimate contender in the AFC, dude.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be a sick ass AFC playoffs, I think, because I think the Bills, Chiefs, and Ravens are all hella good,
Yep.
and you
Oh,
could throw the
absolutely.
Chargers in there too.
Uh, yeah, I mean, you got to put the Steelers in there. You got to put the Texans in
Steelers too,
there.
yeah. Nah, the Texans, they're too banged up, dude.
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. They're gonna get the win tomorrow.
Maybe I wouldn't lay 7 with them though. I'll tell you that much.
Yep. Yep. Agreed on that. There were a lot of numbers that were really high today.
Yeah, it's because the fucking books have been getting pounded all year, fucking on all
Yep.
the chalk.
Yep.
But it's like, I was telling you earlier, like I didn't really play a lot of NFL today because, like, I leaned the Dolphins, but it was like too many points, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, I want to lay a touchdown and a hook." And then it's like
That's why I bought a half point there.
I leaned the
I
Browns,
I
and the
didn't need
Browns
to, but
fucking good thing I didn't bet that.
yep.
I leaned the Bears, they covered, but I was too pussy to fucking play it.
Yeah,
Um,
they shouldn't have covered.
should
No,
have, would have,
it's
could have.
yep. That was another bad game that I got fucking burned on.
Yeah, and I leaned
Turnover on
the
downs on the 1 fucking yard line.
yeah, yeah. It's fucking that was fucking Packers, man.
Yep.
Packers Bears always a tough game though. They always
Yep.
play each other tough. Um, but yeah, man, Kansas City, Buffalo. What do you think about those two teams, Ben?
I mean, yeah, great teams. Kansas City defense, first time allowing more than 28 points too, which was again not a surprise that the team to do it was Buffalo. I do think the addition of Amari Cooper opens things up. He didn't get a touchdown today, but it did open again. It just adds more fuel to that fire. James Cook had a day, even though he only ran for 20 yards. Um, I mean, ideally, I think they'd want a better running back there, but when you have Josh Allen, who, like you said, can take off, um, it, it doesn't hurt them that they don't have a le legitimate number one running back. I don't think James Cook is the number one running back, but
I think he's really good though.
he's always hurt. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think he's hella good.
No, yeah, he's good. He's good. He's not great. And if they had a great running back, I think that would be,
I don't think you need one though when you have Josh Allen.
yeah. Yeah, and Josh Allen is one of those kind of sneaky mobile quarterbacks. And he's
I
just so big that he can take the hit and keep going.
Hey, he's like a fucking physical specimen, dude. Like he's fucking
Yeah.
like 6'7", fucking hella
Yeah.
fast, big. Like he's not skinny.
Yeah.
Like he's a physical specimen, dude.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like the Bills, man. I like the Bills. That's a good team.
Yeah, if their defense shows up, they are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, their defense was like hella banged up earlier in the year, though.
Yeah.
They're kind of just getting
Yeah.
healthy, but yeah. All right, let's move on. God damn it! Fucking clicked the wrong thing. Fucking hate when that happens. Steven said the biggest dipshit bet I had in the contest was Green Bay -5.5 and Pats +4.5. Yeah, bro. Pats is another one. Like, dude, they're just it's tough laying big numbers with teams from the West Coast going to the East Coast, but man, they fucking
Yeah, I
Jordan
think I had
throws hella to him.
Steven, to make you feel better, I had live uh Packers -2.5
Yeah,
and for 2 units and yeah, it came back to bite me in the ass.
yeah. They that fucking goal line, the turnover on
Yep.
downs was huge. All right, let's move on to the next game. We had Atlanta at Denver. Denver closed 2-point favorites. The total was 45. The total goes under. Denver wins 38-6. They cover the two. I mean, just an absolute fucking annihilation from start to finish in this one. And nothing brings me more joy than Irv having to cheer for Bo Nix.
Yep. Oh
It's
yeah.
just comedy.
28 for 33 today.
Yeah, he was really good. He was really
Four
good.
touchdowns, 307 yards. Michael Penix Jr. came into play. Did Kirk Cousins get hurt, or were they just giving Penix snaps?
Yeah, it was
I
it was at the very end of the game. It was
Okay,
over. It was over. It was
yeah,
Jover. It's Jover.
Yeah. Denver stopped the run.
Well, they have a really
Bijan
good
Robinson.
defense.
Yeah.
Denver
Bijan
does.
Robinson, 12 carries, 35 yards. Jace McClellan, 8 carries, 15 yards for a total of 50 yards total.
Yep. It's a pretty good Denver team, man. They're sneaky good. Um,
Yep.
just it's unfortunate that they play in a division with fucking Patrick Mahomes. So good luck to them.
Yep.
And the Chargers are also better than them. So, but I think they're moving in the right direction, man. And like people like
Also,
me hella criticize the Bo Nix pick, but it looks like it's a right decision. And Bo Nix he's proven me wrong. He's proven Irv wrong. He's proven everybody wrong. And
yep.
he definitely like people won't talk about it, but he probably should win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that. I think his numbers are so much better than Caleb's. I know Caleb's coming back now,
Even
but
His numbers are better than Jaden Daniels too.
Jaden Daniels, really? Yeah.
Like Jaden
I
Daniels
think that's
had a
gonna
few
be
good games, but like if you look at his numbers in the total, Bo Nick's having a way better season.
is he? That's actually interesting to check. Hold on.
Pull it up.
Yep. I don't disagree with you. I just don't know where they are. Come on. Football reference.
Steven said I was on Denver, just had it in the wrong order.
Okay, let's see. Bo knows. And
Bo knows.
Jaden, is it J A D N?
J A Y D
Y.
JAYDEN.
There we go. Okay. Jaden, completion percentage 68.7 for 2,338 yards, 8 yards per average, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Bo Nix, okay, 1 game less, but Bo has 1,968 yards. Yards gained per pass attempt is 6.1, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So Jaden's having a better season, but not by much.
Yeah.
3 interceptions and 4 yards, which is not unsubstantial, but it's at the end of the year, it's going to be a close race.
Yeah, and yeah, I think a big part of it and the voters are going to be like if the Commanders make the fucking playoffs and the Broncos don't, they'll be like, oh well, Jaden Daniels on the fucking playoffs. So, well,
Broncos are in the playoffs right now.
what's the? I don't have the standings up in front of me. What is it? What do the standings look like right now, Ben?
Uh, for the AFC, Kansas City 1 at 9-1, Bills 2 at 9-2, Pittsburgh 3 at 8-2,
Okay,
Houston 4 at 6-4, Chargers 5 at 7-3, Baltimore 6 at 7-4, Denver 7th at 6-5, and Indianapolis Colts 8th at 5-6. Do you want me to keep going? 9 and 10?
but only 8 teams make the playoffs, right? Or six?
Yeah,
Is it 6 or 8?
it's 8, right? I think it's 8.
Is it, no, it's 6.
No way. It's 8.
Bro, it's really 8.
NFL playoff format. It's 8.
So the
Oh,
nine
it's 7.
7. That's right, 7.
7.
So the Niners will be out of the playoffs right now in the NFC.
We'll get in there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Hold on. So
But the
9 is
Broncos would be in the
Dolphins.
playoffs right
Hold
now.
on. Yeah, Broncos would be in the playoffs. Sorry. 9 is Miami, 4-6. 10 is Cincinnati at 4-7.
I don't care if they're not in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but they're close. They have the chance. The next is fucking New York Jets at 3-8. They don't have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, since he's still definitely in the hunt at 4-7,
Yeah,
but especially especially as Indy's just sitting there 5-5.
yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah.
Uh,
Okay, then we go over to the NFC. Detroit first, 9-1. Number two is the Eagles at 8-2. Three, the Cardinals at 6-4. Four, the Falcons at 6-5. Five, the Vikings at 8-2. Six, the Packers at 7-3. Seven, the Commanders at 7-4. And then you have three teams at 5-5: the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Niners. The whole NFC West. But it's
so
going to be tough to catch those two games.
yeah, that's
Niners have lost all three division games,
yeah, that's tough,
which
dude.
hurts them substantially.
Yeah,
And you
that's.
got the Bucks at 4-6, the Bears at 4-6, and the Saints at 4-7. Cowboys, Panthers, and Giants.
I mean,
Cowboys have a worse.
I wouldn't
This,
say you're out of it at 5-5, but it's definitely a tougher road than in the
oh,
fucking AFC.
oh yeah, 5-5 I think is the cap there. That 8, 9, and 10 all tied at 5-5 is the tough part there.
It's comedy that Minnesota's 8-2, but because the Lions are 9-1 and in first place in their division.
Yep, it pops them down to 5.
Yeah, that's brutal. And
Yeah,
they would wouldn't they have to go on the road? No, they wouldn't go on the road week 1, right? In the playoffs, they'd be at home.
yeah. No, they'd go on the road.
God, that's so brutal, dude.
Yeah.
That is brutal. All right, let's move on to now we know the playoffs right now. Let's move on to the next game. Seattle at San Francisco. The Niners closed 6-point favorites here, Ben, and the total is 49. The total goes under. Seattle covers and they win outright 20-17. Just another game where the Niners just fucking they lose games. They find new ways to lose games. Um,
Yep.
every fucking week it seems like. And full transparency, I was on Niners in a teaser with the Chiefs, so neither one of them covered, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But all I needed was the Niners to win the fucking game, and they fucking couldn't even do that.
Yep.
Just a sorry fucking team out there in San Francisco. Bosa's hurt again.
Yep.
And he was facing a black
No,
quarterback, dude. So he was, he was motivated, bro. He was motivated out there.
uh, that was the big changer because the second that Bosa went out, he went he Gino scored two touchdowns and didn't score any touchdowns the first. I think it was 40 minutes of the game.
Yep.
So, but it's a 60-minute game. That's all that matters.
80 yards, no timeouts, under a minute and 30.
Yeah,
Seahawks are done.
despicable.
Won the
Absolutely
game.
embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. And I think there's a major problem with the San Francisco offense too. The lack of creativity that was so successful for them over the last few years is completely gone. Absolutely gone. Um, Debo is no longer a force. I mean, having Ayuk and Kittle out today,
Bro,
huge.
I tried warning all you Niners fans. I said Devo's not that good, bro. Like he's not like he was a good Swiss Army knife when Christian McCaffrey wasn't there. But the guy he runs
No,
like
not this year.
yeah, like he only runs like two routes.
Yeah.
That's all he runs. Like
Well,
he's
but
not a
like
like elite wide
he hasn't even
receiver.
been given those opportunities this year. Like the play calling has just gone stale, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's I don't know what the issue is with them. I know their quarterback is pretty mid.
Yeah,
Like I don't think he's Sorry,
There's
Steven.
a
Steven was in the chat. I know this is an NFL show, but before it's over, I need to hear your take on BYU ASU. How fucking nuts is it that ASU picked last is in the mix? Yes, I will get to that. I will bookmark that. I'll save it. Um, Back to your Niners, Ben.
Yep.
What do you think the issue is, and what's the fix?
I mean, injuries are a big part of the issue.
Yes, I will
Um,
agree.
Both offensively and defensively. Um, I think the defense's major issue is that we've now gone through what four uh offensive coordinators over the last 5 years.
Defensive coordinators.
Defensive coordinators over the last 5 years. And it's learning new systems when they shouldn't have to, and they have an elite defense the way that it was played. But again, you're losing your coaches to head coach, or sorry, your offensive or defensive coordinators to head coaching jobs. It makes sense.
Right.
Um, I think there needs to be get back to more creativity from Kyle Shanahan, or somebody else needs to be starting to call the calls again.
Well,
Um,
I think like
Quarterback play
Kyle
is
has this issue, and this is like a common theme in his career. Like his teams always blow leads in the fucking fourth quarter, dude.
yeah, yeah. The offense can't adjust, and it needs to.
And I think as far as your defense is concerned, like they have a ton of fucking injuries on their defensive line. Drake Jackson's out, Hargrove's out, Hargraves, sorry. So
Trey Greenlaw's still out. He should
like
be back next week, I think.
the depth of their or I should say the strength of their team is the depth of their defensive line, or at least the strength of their defense is the depth of their defensive line. And when you don't have that,
Mm,
because their defensive line makes up for them having like a weak secondary. Like they don't have a great secondary,
mm,
and their defensive line always makes up for that because they get a ton of pressure on the quarterback, only having to rush four. And like you said, once Bosa went out, they couldn't really do that, and they had to start blitzing and bringing guys, and it was leaving guys open, and therefore, you know, the Seahawks ended up winning that fucking game. But it's tough, dude, because and the Seahawks had their best defensive game. I mean, this is a defense like it has gotten shredded. They're bottom
mm.
third in the league in every defensive metric, and the Niners couldn't even fucking pick them apart, dude. And it's just like you said, man, it's just
I think
tough out there in Santa Clara.
a big thing too, like what was successful last week was not successful this week, but I think that was because you had Kittle out, and he didn't open. They didn't have Kittle to open things out. Juszczyk went out early too. He got concussion protocoled. Um, Fucking Ricky Pearsall didn't even have a catch today, only two targets too. Um, like it was just a CMC 78 yards on 19 carries. Um, no explosive plays. The longest was an 11-yard run. Um, if CMC can't come back to even shadow what it was last year, Niners are going to be in issues for multiple years after they just signed that big contract with them.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
All right, let's move on to the next
and,
game.
and they're going to pay Purdy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they are gonna pay Purdy probably, and that
Yeah.
will probably end up being a fucking terrible decision.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We had LA Rams at New England. The Rams closed 4-point favorites. The total was 43. The Rams win 28-22. Rams actually were in pretty much control of this game. It was 28-13, and the Patriots came back and made it a little interesting. But
Mhm.
man, the Patriots, they have a terrible offensive line, and it's tough to take away much of this game from the Rams. Nakua had a really good game, 7 catches, 123 yards. Kupp had 6 catches, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I don't have much to add to this one, Ben.
Yeah. I mean, I also think Drake May is going to be a good quarterback. once he gets some protection and I mean he's got some decent receivers out there, but if they build a good team, like he could be another quality white quarterback in New England.
He said another quality white quarterback in New England.
You know the crafts.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's move on to the next game. We had Miami hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. This game closed 7.5. Miami laying it. Oh my god, what was the total? The total is 44. The total goes over, and the Dolphins cover. They win 34-19. The Raiders are just a total fucking dog shit. That's just a dog shit team, dude. And Antonio Pierce is gonna get fired soon. I honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if the Raiders fire him and hire Dion and fucking draft Shador Sanders.
It would be better than Gardner Minshew.
Oh, for sure. But
Is is Shador the answer though? No.
I mean, he's a franchise quarterback.
So,
So
but or do you pick Hunter first? They're probably gonna have the first overall.
I mean, dude, they need a quarterback, bro. Like, I'm not saying they have other issues. Like, they have a lot of issues on that team, but they don't have a quarterback, dude.
You can play two-way in
You could, but
NFL, right?
it's very difficult because that's a lot of
A lot of reps, yeah.
yeah.
The Raiders would do it.
And my thing with Travis Hunter, and like I know I'll get pushback on this, the guy is like a phenomenal athlete, dude. Like incredible player. The fact that he could play both ways, but the thing is like he's not the best wide receiver and he's not the best cornerback, but he's really fucking good at both. I would rather him focus on one fucking thing and be really fucking good at it. If I was
This kind of
if
sounds
I was
like
an NFL team,
a guy from LA right now, huh?
who Shohei?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like Shohei, even he's like a fucking 3.54 ERA pitcher. He's like, I would say he's slightly above average pitcher.
Yeah, and he's definitely an above average hitter, but
Mhm. He's a way better hitter than he is a pitcher.
mm,
But like Travis Hunter, I don't know if he's a better corner than he is a wide receiver, if he's a better wide receiver than he is a corner, but I know that he's not the best at both of them.
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Like he wouldn't be my wide receiver one in the draft and he wouldn't be my cornerback one. But he's a
Yeah,
hell of a fucking athlete.
yeah. And kind of the Shohei comparison that is rough because his numbers were definitely inflated this year because he had more at bats.
Yeah. Batting
So
leadoff.
yeah. So if he was to play both ways, is he going to be where he was? Probably not.
No.
You got to take that fifth day off. So
Yep. And but I mean back to the Raiders. Dog shit fucking team.
bad, 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 bad.
And I actually think the Dolphins are like I think they're a lot better than their record been. I
Well,
just think
absolutely.
not having Tua fucking really hurt them.
The drop off for not having Tua to what it was Skyler.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is like I don't think Tua is like a great quarterback, but
No.
that just goes to show like how bad their backups are.
How yeah, the drop off from Skyler is. But I mean they're still in the playoff hunt and
Yeah,
they're gonna have to really compete. Um you have a more I don't know if you have that favorable of a schedule. You have the Jets twice, which is nice. You have the Patriots, the Packers, the Texans, the Niners, and the Browns.
I mean
So
they don't have a gauntlet of a schedule, but
yeah,
I wouldn't
I
call
mean
it favorable either. But
yeah, there's four winnable games, easily winnable games. And then you have the Niners and then you have the Texans and the Packers.
Steven said Crosby has an out this year in his contract. Is he gone, bro? I thought for sure the Raiders should have entertained trading him,
Yeah.
but I will also say the Raiders are kind of in this mess, not because of Max Crosby, but Mark Davis did get Max Crosby's blessing to hire Antonio Pierce. And anybody that watched football knew Antonio Pierce is not a fucking NFL head coach, dude. They just had, he rallied the troops for a handful of games last year. And Max Crosby loves him because he lets him say the N word in the locker room. And so he's like, yeah,
Who
that's
are
my
they?
guy.
Who would they have signed?
As a,
Do you want Staley?
as a head coach?
Yeah.
Dude, I would have gone and got Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator from the fucking
Yeah,
Lions.
but he already said that he wasn't gonna go.
I don't know. Steven said, I'm an ASU fan. I knew that he wasn't a head coach when he was with ASU. Yeah, it's like, I don't know why they did it. But Ben, there's a lot of, like, I would have hired Cliff Kingsbury over fucking Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of options. I would have hired fucking Brian Callahan, the head coach of the fucking Titans, over fucking Antonio Pierce. I would have hired
What happened? What about what was the old Titans coach? What's
Mike
his name?
Vrabel, dude. I would have
Bear,
hired
yeah.
fucking Mike
Yeah.
Vrabel. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we actually doing? And now they're in this predicament because, dude, everything like starts with the front office and the head coach, dude. Like, they have to set the fucking tone and set the expectations and set the vibes and stuff. And the vibes last year in the locker room was like a bunch of kids, having fun and shit. And yeah, it was cool for like 2 or 3 games, but now it's like fucking real world. And the defense is nowhere near as good as it was last year. And everyone coming into the season was like, we knew that the offense was going to struggle. We knew it. We knew the Vegas Raiders weren't going to be good offensively because they didn't have a quarterback. But everybody was saying, yeah, but their defense is going to be a top 5 unit. That's going to be a top 5 defense. It's going to be a top 5 defense. And they're nowhere near a top 5 defense, dude. Like, they look like shit.
Mm-hmm. Week in and week out. Yep.
Every week, dude. They haven't looked good in a single game this year defensively, dude. They're like one of the worst defenses in the league. So, and that's my thing. If you're a head coach and you're a defensive guy and your defense sucks, or if you're an offensive coach and your offense sucks, like, that tells me more about you than it does about anything else. And now the Raiders are in this predicament. And then the only reason why I said Dion might be the head coach is because Dion came out and literally said, like, that he's willing to hold Shador back from certain teams in certain situations. Now, if I'm Dion, last place I want him going is fucking the Raiders. You know what I mean? Like, hell no. So if you're the Raiders, it's like, all right, well, we'll hire you. And then, of course, Dion's going to be like, okay, yeah, we'll draft my son. You know what I mean? So I think it is a legitimate option. Like, I think it sounds crazy, but I think it's a legit, could happen. I also agree with Steven. He said Cliff is nice. I think he is gone this year. I definitely do. I think he's proven, that he could be a head coach. But I will say this about Cliff Kingsbury. I do think Cliff is one of those guys that he focuses so much on one side of the ball that I think he makes a better coordinator than he does a head coach. I really do. But he's still a hell of a head coach. All right, I had to get that rant off about the Raiders.
Raiders suck, yeah.
They do, dude. And, like, bro, I tried.
I'm surprised you hadn't hit your dog shit button.
Dog shit.
And Ben, I have a lot of friends. We have a lot of friends that are Raider fans. Obviously, we grew up in the Bay. And, like, every single summer, dude, they're always hyped. Oh, we're going to be hella better this year. And I'm telling them, dude, I'm telling my boy Mo, like, bro, the Raiders are going to suck this year, dude. Like, they're going to be fucking awful. And he's like, nah, we're going to be good. Our defense is going to be good. Dude, you guys fucking sucked. You stink. Team blows, bro.
Yep.
They're as bad as Mark Davis's haircut. Period.
That's pretty bad, too.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We had Indy at the New York Jets. Now we can talk about another fucking dog shit franchise.
Dog shit.
Look who got the W today.
Yep. The Jets closed 4-point favorites. The total is 43.5. The total goes over. Indy wins the game outright, 28-27. My guy Anthony Richardson, 20 of 30 passing, 272 yards, 1 touchdown. Also added 2 rushing touchdowns as well. On the other side, Washed Rodgers, 22 of 29, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall actually did have a good game, though, 16 rushes for 78 yards. But The Jets lose again, Ben.
Dog shit.
Yep. Yeah, and I think if you're Shane Steichen, you're putting your wrist out to get a nice little slap there too, because you were the one who wanted Flacco in for those two games to give you a better opportunity to win. And look at that, 0-2, and you bring back uh, a young quarterback in Anthony Richardson, and he gets the win today over Aaron Rodgers in a game that they shouldn't have won.
Yep, agreed.
So
Steven said, "How the fuck does anybody lay points with the Jets?" Bro, I said the same thing last week when they played the Cardinals. I was like, bro, I do not understand why people keep laying points with the Jets and they just keep losing every fucking week.
on paper, they're a decent team.
Yeah, you would think that. But like, dude, they're again another team that's defense was supposed to be good and is absolute fucking dog water, dude.
Well, I losing your defensive head coach is
Definitely
another
didn't
reason
help.
for that. And yes, defense was a problem, but I don't think it was the problem.
No,
And
no, definitely wasn't the problem.
what's his name? Uh, Sala was just the scapegoat. So
I mean, the head coach is always going to be the scapegoat, though,
yeah,
Ben, because
no, no, I know, yeah,
at the end of the day, it's easier to replace one guy than 52 guys. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, the head coach always takes the
yeah.
fall.
And that one guy should have been Aaron Rodgers.
And yeah, that's the other thing is like when you're a franchise like, and you make a move like that with like the Jets did for Aaron Rodgers, like bro, that set them back.
Yeah,
And it was supposed to set them forward. Like it was supposed to help them win now. But not only did it not help them win now
it's made them worse.
it's made them worse, and now they don't have a fucking quarterback going forward. They have a 40-year-old quarterback that's washed, and then what do they do after, Ben?
Yeah.
Like, bro, they have to draft a quarterback, and they
I
need
was
a
gonna
lot.
say they have to draft. Yeah, they have to draft a quarterback this year. They have to draft an offensive line. They have to draft a quarterback. They have to draft defense. Everything.
Yeah, they need a kicker too.
Um, yeah, you need a kicker. I would probably say you need a tight end. Um, you need probably some secondary there.
Oh my God, Steven said Roger said he's coming back next year. If I'm the Jets, I tell him no, thank you,
Yeah.
retire, brother.
Well, it just baffles me how this team is worse this year than they were last year.
Hey, the Mormon Mahomes might have been better option.
Insane. Where is Wilson now?
He's Bo Nix's backup.
Oh, okay, in Colorado, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We got Jacksonville at Detroit. Detroit laid a big number, 14. Total is 47.5. Didn't even matter. 52-6
Nope.
was the final score. Lions just steamrolled the fucking Trevor Lawrence list